made it to Ireland, guys. We're here, all set up for our walking tour.
Did you see it there?
Oh, yeah, it's the portal.
Philadelphia waving at the people in Ireland.
St. Patrick Cathedral, I think. It's the Teeling Distillery. We're gonna go on a little tour here. Hey guys, Traveling Shus Casey here. We just got through security at MCO. We're heading onto the tram. We're going to Ireland. So we're gonna go there for the next 9 days. Me and my wife, her family. So we'll bring you guys along and take you for the ride. So let's jet. Getting on the plane. We're here staying at a hotel on
Cardiff Lane.
Cardiff Lane. Sorry, it's a hard word for me to say. So we're staying here. We just got here a few hours ago. We ended up taking a nap, so I was exhausted. It was an overnight flight. So we're gonna go on a walking tour now. We're going to a distillery, I think. So we're gonna take you with us. We'll check it out. So let's jet. Where's Nemo?
Oh, you can't see him very well there. I did see a blue tang as well.
We're all set up for our walking tour. We got our little, I don't know what this is going to be. Some sort of device is going to transfer whatever he's saying to us. And he gave me some headphones, so we're going to get checking it out. Let's do it.
Really want to go.
But they're Vikings.
Whoa, what's that about?
It's like the duck ones. They go.
There's a giant pint of Guinness in front of it.
Yeah.
That is our International Convention Centre, designed by an Irishman called Kevin Roche. He trained as an architect in Ireland, and then he emigrated to the United States, and he became an architect to the stars. So we refer to him as a starchitect. He died about 4 years ago in his 90s, but he left us that wonderful legacy. The main auditorium holds 2,000 people, and every single seat in it is connected to the internet, because it was. So we're going to go over this bridge now, and it's called the Samuel Beckett Bridge, after one of 4 Irish writers to win the Nobel Prize for Literature. But we call it the Harp Bridge, because it's like a harp on its side, and a harp is one of the symbols of Ireland. If you get a letter from our government, it will have a beautiful gold embossed harp on it. If you look to the left, you will see, do you see that very old-fashioned looking shipboard there with the big masts on it? That is called the Jeanie Johnston, and that is a replica of a famine ship that sailed from Ireland to Canada at the time of the Great Potato Famine in 1847, when our potato crop failed and 1.25 million men, women and children died of starvation and 2 million emigrated. They sailed that ship to Canada and America and stopped at 15 different ports, and there were so many people of Irish descent living in those ports that paid to see the ship, they got rid of the deficit on the ship. So it's almost permanently moored there now as a famine memorial museum. And the great news is that tomorrow Mert will be bringing you to New Ross in County Wexford. That is the area of Ireland where the ancestors of John F. Kennedy came from. And there you will be going to see a similar ship called the Dunbrody ship, and you will be getting a fantastic guided tour of it. The subject matter is very sad, but the actual tour is absolutely excellent and you'll enjoy it a lot. Originally, when this ship sailed, you'll see it coming up on the left now, 200 people were allowed sail on it. Now, if it sails, only 60 people are allowed go on it, because it was just for safety reasons. So you can imagine long ago, if 200 people were in the hold of that ship, if one of them had a disease, it just spread rapidly amongst all the passengers, and many people died en route to what they referred to as the New World, and that's why those ships were referred to as coffin ships. Look to the left now in the trees, and you see those statues of 6 tall, emaciated people walking down to the port of Dublin to emigrate for a better life. They're the famine memorial statues. The same 6 statues are in the port of Boston, and not far away from them the same again, but they're fat and happy and painted gold. It's the before and after story. And during the time of the Great Potato Famine, the Choctaw Indians were very good to the people of Ireland, and they sent over the equivalent of €5,000, which was a lot of money in those days. And in the course of this tour, I will be showing you 3 of the 4 Georgian squares in Dublin, and tell you all about the lifestyle in Dublin in the 18th and early 19th century, when Dublin was the 2nd richest city in the British Empire at that time. So we're going to go over this bridge on the left. It's called the Rosie Hackett Bridge. Rosie Hackett lived in the 19th century, and she was the instigator of a strike by workers in Jacob's biscuit factory. The women were being paid very, very little money, and as a result of that they got paid a lot more. So this is the newest bridge over the River Liffey, and it is the only bridge called after a woman, Rosie Hackett. You'll see a building jutting out with lots of pillars, and it is the most important building in Irish history. It's called the GPO, or the General Post Office, and it was on the steps of this building on Easter Monday in 1916 that Padraig Pearse, the famous Irish patriot, read the proclamation of the independence of the Irish Republic. After that, the English sent a gunboat up the River Liffey, shot at that building, set it on fire, took out all our patriots, brought them to Kilmainham jail, and within 14 days almost all of them were shot.
Wow.
Now, once long ago, when they were finished their battles, they threw their swords and their shields in the lakes and the rivers of Ireland. And during times of drought, now some of these still keep coming up at the sides of rivers and lakes. Only recently a beautiful book was found at the side of a lake again. Now, as we move forward here, I want you to look into the right, into the Garden of Remembrance. You'll see the statue where the Queen laid the wreath, and behind the statue is a wall. And as she laid the wreath, 25 Irish soldiers stood on that wall with their heads bowed and their guns pointed down. And the #1 Irish Army Band played sombre music. Quite an extraordinary occasion of reconciliation. You see it now? in the shape of a cross in the middle. You see it? Yeah. Very important piece of modern Irish history. See it there?
Oh, yeah, it's the
People
portal.
of Philadelphia waving at the people in Ireland. Yes, it's in Philadelphia. It used to be in Times Square in New York, and they moved it to Philadelphia.
The park of St. Patrick Cathedral, I think. Pretty cool. Teeling Distillery in Newmarket. Hey guys, we made it to the Teeling Distillery. We're gonna go on a little tour here. I don't know about how long it'll be, but they're gonna take us all around the distillery and then we get a cool drink afterwards. So get some whiskey later. Check you out.
Ingredients that we use and some of the machinery as well. We'll look at the barrels that we use and how the whiskey ages over time. We finish on the tasting and I'll talk you through one of the drinks, okay? So what we have going on here on the board is a timeline of between like 18th to 20th century Ireland, so a few hundred years ago. The Powers Distillery. Most people know who Jameson is. Hopefully. Yeah. Most people don't know, or probably never heard of John Musgrave before. Yeah? No? Maybe? No? Okay, don't worry. It's alright. He's responsible for one of 6 whiskey fires that happened here in Dublin. One of his machines in his distillery caught on fire, and it basically sent like a lake of whiskey just washing down the streets of Dublin. People did start to drink the whiskey while most of it was on fire. I'm pretty sure it was a total of, I think it was 13 people that did die of alcohol poisoning. No one died from the fire. That's the same.
This person died from
Whiskey was those days.
Oh my.
But yeah, that's what, just a small selection of the distilleries back then. During this time, there was about 90 whiskey distilleries located all over Ireland. 37 of the biggest ones were right here, inside this triangle, and that was on top of 40 other breweries as well, right here. So as you can probably tell, as of right now, everything is going pretty good. We're making a lot of whiskey, selling it around the whole world, and for the most part, making a good bit of money. It's a pretty big industry. We had 3 problems that came around. Number 1 was our next door neighbours. Scotland started to get really, really competitive with whiskey making because at the time Scotland had a bit better technology for producing whiskey. They had the column still or the coffee still. Ever heard of a coffee still before? No, maybe pot still? Okay, so pot stills are what Irish distilleries more traditionally would have used for distilling whiskey. Pot stills work in batches, so it's batch to batch to batch, meaning it can be a little bit slower to make whiskey, but because of that, you would typically get a way more pure and concentrated alcohol. Column stills, which is what Scotland was using, can continuously distill whiskey, which obviously makes it way quicker, but because of that, you don't get as pure of an alcohol. In our case, it is pretty funny because it was actually an Irish guy that invented the column still.
We're at the Teeling Dispensary. We're doing a tour. They just gave us a few minutes to kind of walk around and do whatever we wanted. We got a few minutes to take you through the process of distilling Irish whiskey. It all starts here with the mill. All goes the grains and barley and stuff goes into there. Mix it with some water. That's when they add the water and they mix it up. They get it all shaken down, put it in this machine, and it does the same thing. Inside this machine, it goes in there and it breaks up all the barley and mixes all the water and turns it into a paste. This is called the comes over and gets triple distilled. So I'm going to that distillery there. It'll get put up to about 30%. It'll go there and it's about 60%. It'll come to this third one and it'll go to almost 83%, which then they'll turn it into Irish whiskey. Pretty cool.
Or it is an example of what it like. It's a blended whiskey, so it's made with two different types of grain. About 75% of the mash bill is corn, and the rest of it is all malted barley. So it's fairly sweet. I think it's a pretty easy whiskey to drink. That's why I started on this one. It's been aged for 6 years.
You're gonna love this.
And caramel.
The tour was awesome. We got a free trial of one of their single malt
6-year.
6-year whiskeys. We also got a cocktail. Amanda got a mocktail. They both taste a little bit like the moonshine sour from Disney, but way better in my opinion. They taste really good. Now we're in the gift shop. We're probably gonna grab ourselves a bottle and head out of here to see what's next. So let's chat.
Desk underneath the spire curved to the top. And as we go round the cathedral now, you will see a little street dating from the 10th century, and it's called Fishamble Street. And on the 13th of April 1742, George Frederick Handel, the great German composer, restaurant called Bobo's, painted green. Bo is the Gaelic word for a cow, so it's cow. And you sit on the hide of cows when you're eating your burgers. You'll see it, we didn't get to it yet, it's just going to come up on the left. There's a green awning in front of it. This is Dame Street. This is the old financial area of Dublin. The new financial area of Dublin is down by the side of the River Liffey, near your hotel. And in the 17th century, this was a very narrow street, and there were lots of booksellers on it, and they used to stand on the street, call out the names of the books and the prices, and the old horses and carriages would go clip-clopping by. So the sounds were so much different in the 17th century. Today it is a very busy street, but they are talking about pedestrianising it and only leaving public transport go up and down. So look to the left here now and you see Bobo's, you see with the green awning there. Gourmet Irish burgers. Set back on the left is the former Central Bank of Ireland. The new one is down near your hotel on the side of the River Liffey.
Walking through downtown Dublin. We're going to a pub. I forget what it's called though. We'll probably check out the name when we get there. But now I'm walking through this little tunnel. It's interesting. We're back. Tunnel. Nice.
Building.
Alright, we're walking past the board. Whoa, I don't know how to say that word. Gaze Energy Theater? Gaze? I don't know how this is pronounced. I don't know how. Geis? Board Geis? Broad Geis? But here it is. Board Geis Energy Theater. I doubt it. But they got Tina going on right now. We saw that not long ago. Like 6. Bunch of stuff. So we're heading back to the hotel. And we'll get you guys updated when we get there. We finished our day 1 here in Ireland in Dublin. We got the Hart Bridge behind us. We got the Ferryman's Bar behind us. We're hanging out. It's been a great day. I hope you guys all come in tomorrow. Where are we headed tomorrow?
That is a great question. I don't remember. There's a couple places we're going.
We're going to a couple places. I know we're driving in the car for like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. Heading up towards the Northern Ireland part. We're going to be doing all of Ireland over the next days.
I think we're going south.
You think we're going south first?
Yeah. We'll know for sure tomorrow.
We'll know for sure more tomorrow. But again, thank you guys so much for coming in here. Hit us subscribe if you want it. Let's put that next video up there. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Traveling Shus out, all right?